Right, are we introing?
Whenever you're ready.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. And if you're new to the show, buongiorno.
Arrivederci. Hi. We call it the Disco Menace because you're just like, you look like the guy at the disco that's like, out, like you've let yourself go and you're creeping around the place.
The Disco Menace.
Yeah.
If I ever saw someone in a disco like that, then I'm just watching him for the rest of the night. I'm sobering up going, something's going to happen.
Yeah. But I remember...
This is anyone in Lycra. It's called a disco.
No, we did a cycling event up in Scotland and my brother-in-law, like, just beforehand, like, put his cycle outfit on and just, like, he looks like Mr. Bean anyway. And he basically just started walking around, like, purposefully in a very inappropriate stance. And, the name Disco Menace was coined. Amazing. And it stuck.
How many boards are too much? Boom. So today we're going to be talking about loads of random things. One of the questions posed to us by a caller that wishes to remain nameless is how many paddleboards are too many?
Yeah.
So over to you.
Oh, don't ask me. Like I've got like over 30 boards.
30? Oh, because you're
Yeah, no.
He's gone to school.
But like in terms of like, there's just no limit. I've got a surf sup, a race sup, touring sup, all rounder for just having all one. Like why would you not just keep buying new boards yourself to do different things? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think you should constrain yourself in that way.
It's against the ethos of...
There's nothing better than taking delivery. And I took delivery of a new board this week, and it's the best delivered board I've ever had.
Was it by DPD? Or a UPS coming back?
TNT.
No.
Yeah. Big fan. Me and the TNT man have become very,
great
very
AC/DC. So.
Yeah, no, I just don't think constrain yourself. I mean, I'm sure there's a sensible answer to this question.
Probably
but you're
3.
not going to hear that from me.
3 or 4, depending.
3
on what
or 4?
Yeah.
Why not go 5? If you've gone that far, just get as many boards as you want. Why is it excessive?
I don't know.
How many people are in the family? How many mates have you got that
for
always
yourself.
want to get paddled?
No.
You didn't qualify that at the. You
well,
just
I
asked
will.
How many boards?
So aggressive.
Not aggressive. I've just had a few Guinness.
Nigerian Guinness, so chill out.
Yeah. It was a lovely gift.
It was a lovely gift, wasn't it? Actually, that was a very nice gift.
Very nice gift. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Claire.
Thank you. 3 or 4.
What would your partners consider to be too many boards?
6 or 7. But we have to rein them in. You know what?
Yeah.
People get like... Yeah, I'd say an inflatable. You need 2 forms of inflatables. Ice-ups.
Okay. Keep going.
One where you can kind of get down and dirty with it and just like trash it.
Yeah. I completely agree.
One for a bit of touring, a bit of longer, nice things.
Yep.
And then definitely need 2 forms of hardboards as well.
Which are?
Obviously, because I'm sponsored by no one. I can't believe it.
It will happen, Adam. Don't worry. It will happen.
Just want to be sponsored by Copeland Gin, but...
Come on, Tim. Gareth, pull your finger out.
I'd say a 14-footer, definitely all-rounder, will change your life. And then I think a nice 12.6 touring, not necessarily race.
As a hardboard?
Yeah.
On top of your existing touring board,
I'm
which
thinking,
is more likely 12.6.
And because I've just started fishing badly, I'm thinking about getting a big old wide boy. And then...
With the fishing brackets in and everything.
Yeah. Blackfish. I rock a Blackfish. I've got a cool one with like a backrest and like a little seat thing.
Oh, what? So you sit down?
Only
Are you going kayaking, Adam? Look at the heart palpitations. Look at that. He can't bring himself to admit.
I like kayakers. I don't know why you've got such a thing against them. I can't even
we'll
comment
go,
on the name that you give them earlier on today.
I'm sure we'll dig out the quote that we can reference.
And speaking about people who like kayaking, what do you think of people wearing wetsuits out in public spaces?
Well, I'm a primary protagonist of this, and I think it's perfectly acceptable. I think in our modern, open, diverse cultural society,
I love the segue.
I think that it's perfectly acceptable and should be expected of people that if they wish to wear a wetsuit, they can walk to the shop in said wetsuit and not feel judged, you know?
Is there a like a derogatory term for people in wetsuits walking around car parks? Because where do you draw the line? Because like
that's such a great question.
But there will be by the end of the hour. I think it's okay if you've just been on or going to the water.
Well, I don't put a wetsuit on just to go to the co-op. Or,
yes,
you know?
you do. That's what Danielle told me. It's like, oh, Ian, chatty man's out again. Going to the co-op to get some pretentious food, like a pear. Or a kumquat.
That sounds like a new like nutrition company, the Pretentious Pear.
The pretentious pear. I thought that already existed.
That's
Or
the,
just a
that's the
weird
Happy
coffee
Pear,
shop.
isn't it? The Happy Pear.
Ah, yes. Yeah,
They're the boys down in
What's
Dublin.
the one? I didn't use that one.
Greystones. Yeah.
Yeah, they like avocado.
They do like avocado. Who doesn't?
if you're in a wetsuit walking about, like, surely there's a point when it's unacceptable to just, like, you're parked in the car park
Why?
down the seafront.
You're so negative.
I
Why
don't
is he
think
so negative?
it's
Every
concern,
week.
isn't it?
Always negative. Sat there in your pink hoodie. Yeah. It's pink.
I just don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think if you have been wearing it for water sports purposes and you're
What kind of water sports?
going back home, like, that's, you know, what's the problem? You stop at a shop, you carry on. Like, most people turn up in their wetsuit and they,
Keep going.
He's taking a selfie. Yeah.
The vanity. Oh, the
But,
vanity.
do you know how I could tell? Because he went like this, Ian.
Like what you do when you put your wetsuit on.
Yeah. I have to now. I have to do it. I'm just getting way too buff. I think if you wear a wetsuit in public and you're going across a car park, you must start walking to just break wind. To the song of Genesis.
Which one?
I can't dance, can't talk. Only thing about me is the way I walk. Down, bam.
And was that song where they did that walk? Yeah. Okay.
Hearts on beating down.
Why do?
Burn my feet just walking round.
Okay, you're wearing your wetsuit in the car park,
Lunging.
right? You've got your jacket on. You'll be inflatable safety jacket on.
Inflatable safety jacket.
See now, I'll hold my hand up to having worn the buoyancy aid in the shop, right? But what the buoyancy aid?
No, it's a buoyancy. Why is everyone so weird? It's a buoyancy jacket.
But the reason for doing that is so we wear buoyancy vests, which is slightly different. So they're an additional layer of warmth. So if you've come off the water and it's relatively cold, like, the last thing I want to do is take that off until I'm ready to sort of take the wetsuit off and everything and jump in the shower. So if I'm going home, I'll invariably keep my buoyancy vest on. If I need to stop and grab some milk on the way home, I'll do that. I walk into the shop, I've become well accustomed to the staff there going, "Oh, you're just off the water, blah, blah, blah." And then, you know, there'll be the odd customer that will sort of say, "Oh yeah, you're scared of drowning on land," and all of that, you know. And that's just become, you know, part of the banter, part of the growing culture of SUP.
That's okay, is it?
I want to know what you have against it.
Well,
because you seem to be very against this.
So, it crosses the line from
There's a line.
There's a line.
Who knew?
Who knew about the line?
So everybody just let's all learn together where this line is.
I feel it opens the conversation about people wearing robies and dry robes in shops.
Robies.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I get that you swim in the water.
But I just think again that's become acceptable. But I think
as long as you're not dripping, as long as you're not like someone with really bad incontinence just walking through the shop, just like flushing away. As long as that's not happening, then I don't see an issue with it.
Is there a limit to how far the way the shop is from the water?
Why?
No,
Well, like,
because if it's a part of your route home and you deviate just to go to the shop for that purpose, it's when you start wearing dry robes. So the
we're on about dry robes now.
Well,
Not wetsuits.
Well, all of it.
You're bracketing everything into the one. So it's basically all these outdoor activity clothings and accessories. Are they acceptable in day-to-day culture and out of their own designed environment? So like they're designed for the purpose of being sort of by the water or when you're just either in or just beside the water. Is it okay to keep that clothing on and walk into a shop?
Yeah, like when does it become ridiculous? Because he's wearing his buoyancy aid, but if you were, say, scuba diving...
Right.
Do you keep your flippers and your snorkel on? Bob into the mace?
Well, surely that's going to be a health and safety issue with flip-flops and a snorkel.
As participation in diving increases, which I'm sure it will, surely that will happen.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll have to ask the guys over in Muff Diving Centre and see what they feel about it. What?
A legitimate thing.
Yeah, there's a place called Muff Diving. Great place. Now I feel self-conscious because I've had these on when it was sunny outside and now all of a sudden it's dark.
Yeah.
And
is that appropriate for you to be wearing?
Dylan's now going to comment on me and just like...
Well, why are you not wearing them over your face?
Over my face? Oh, just like this. That's just really odd. That's why. Also, I have to contain the beast that is the unkept barnet, as you would say from your neck of the woods.
It's like a Westlife haircut.
Is it?
Yeah.
You absolute...
Stand up for the key change.
Ugh.
No, I think you get away with it because the outfits you wear when you surf, just talking about the outfits now, when you're paddleboarding, sometimes you wear shorts, so it looks... I'm just thinking like...
Shall I be really honest as to why I wear shorts?
Hide your package?
Yeah. No,
it's massive.
No, because I did... When we started out earlier on...
The Eon bloody wetsuit, that's...
Oh, that comes with a cod piece that's...
But when you take it out, it's even worse.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Well, no, I prefer it with that bit, the insert that it has in there for protection, which is,
What protection?
For protection of you...
In case a seal comes up and nuts it.
No, but bear in mind, these wetsuits aren't designed just for SUP. Like, they're designed for, like, kite surfing and all those other sports where it will... I'm
sorry, are we okay for time?
Have you got a box on it or something?
He has.
Yeah, there's basically a box.
He's got a compass.
There's like a box and they put an extra layer of padding in there to protect you from taking a whack to the gingangoolies.
A what?
A whack.
So basically, Dylan, our producer, is just like really against anyone wearing anything that he doesn't agree with.
In the court setting of...
Yet he comes to work dressed like that. Like, I don't even know what to say about that.
I just feel there's a lot of... I'll be perfectly honest, I'm sitting back here and I just feel like there's a lot of judgment both ways across the table. Like I just feel less judgy. Let's be less judgy, people. Yeah. Do you know, like if you want to go out on the water, you're wearing your wetsuit, and you want to go home, and you don't want to take your wetsuit off because it's a pain to change in a car park or it'll be temporarily cold or whatever reason, just go for it. Go for your life. Take your wetsuit, go do what you got to do, live your life.
I was
good.
Judging.
You're not offending anyone. You're
what
not getting anyone's way.
What if you're 70 miles from the water?
What do you mean? What if you're?
I had a friend like we.
You never 70 miles away from the water in NI.
Well, we've driven back from the North Coast in our wetsuits. One thing that was a good idea.
You crazy cats.
It was a very uncomfortable drive. A lot of chafing.
Really?
Yeah, we went for a surf and thought we wanted to enjoy.
What's the range of your clutch pedal?
Yeah, why was there
so much chaffage?
Yeah. What were you doing in that car?
I thought you drove an automatic.
I thought I was just tap dancing the whole way.
I love how you're going to edit this.
I sit firmly in the wear your water sport stuff, where you like, how you like, go for it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. No judgment.
Shame on you.
Okay.
Shame on you.
We had covered peeing in your wetsuit before.
Yes, that's just bonkers.
For those people that do pee in their wetsuit, when's it unacceptable? Sorry,
when you're keeping eye contact with someone else, unacceptable.
Yeah.
Personally.
Are you doing that now? Is that why you're looking him in the eye?
I'm not.
That's why he's not looking in the eye.
See, I came up with this idea earlier. I thought you should just have like a hose pipe and a little funnel, little hose pipe. So if you do pee, you can just go straight out into the water, out you like, so you don't...
Like a subcatheter?
Subcatheter. Subcathlon.
That's a whole new marketing, isn't it?
Run, paddle, pee.
Pee.
I had a mate once when we went for a surf, put his wetsuit on, couldn't be bothered waiting until he got into the water, and just peed in his suit on the way to the water. Like, had to walk across West Strand. Do you know the car park in West Strand? You ever been there?
Yeah.
Do you know the car park? You gotta go over the grass.
Yeah.
Peed at the car park, had to walk across the grass, down the beach. Guess what colour his wetsuit was? Grey.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
I was thinking, going, that was a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
What? How did this get onto this? You're obsessed. You were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. You always raise its ugly head.
It's an entertaining topic, I think. Like, there's so many people that are against the robes. Depends where you are.
Yeah, I've heard that and I've read that and I've sort of tried to understand their perspective, but I just don't get it. Like, are they also anti someone wearing a parka or a Mac, or do you know what I mean? Like, what?
Duffel coat.
Yeah, like, sorry,
Those buttons are way too big. What is that?
At what point do you choose to get offended by the item someone throws over them? Oh, he's got a poncho. Oh,
That's just...
you know, like what?
I like a poncho.
Oh, I love a poncho.
So what do you guys change in then? Is that what you go with? Poncho? Or do you go with that?
I just change. I'm fairly unashamed. I would just...
Would never have guessed that.
If there are
Ian Wright.
if there is a volume of population nearby, I might sort of take myself around the other side of the vehicle or something like that, or I might throw a changing robe over the top of me. But just like you're, temporarily getting your, and you're not even
getting your...
Just get changed. Just get on with it. That's my thing. Just get on with it.
Yeah.
Stop making it a thing. Oh, right. Okay.
What have you got?
Right. So I've got
packaging.
Yeah, let's talk about this because this is cool. So there's a couple of things. First thing is I got a new board, Starboard AllStar, 14 foot, 24 inches wide. It's just awesome. And it looks, in real life, it looks so much better than it does in the pictures. And that's like, I looked in the pictures and I was like, like, it's obviously a good board, loads of really good paddlers ride it. But like I wasn't like a massive fan of the
looks,
design and the look. I'm telling you, unwrapped it, and I'll talk about the unwrapping shortly. I unwrapped it, and it is a thing of beauty. Innuendo guy's gone. He's got an innuendo in his head. And he's
I unwrapped it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and it was. This is it's not the first board from Starboard I've had, but it's the first I've had in a couple of years. And their game, or they are on like environmental sustainability level, 100 compared to every other board I've purchased, quite frankly. They were on a whole new level in terms of their packaging, the recycled materials, the consideration that gone into every element of it. Super well protected.
Cool.
But not honestly, not one single speck of single-use plastic. Like it was,
Really?
it was incredible.
Well,
I find it really sad that I'm talking about that. But like, given that people do get infused by that sort of stuff, like it was a real pleasure opening and unwrapping that board.
And what about the leash? Did that have any single use?
Until it got to the point where I expected to find a leash. Right, and this has happened. This is not just Starboard, right? And you could probably say it's not even the manufacturers that are doing this, but like they have to ultimately take responsibility because it's their boards landing to market. I'm sorry. This is my rant for today's podcast.
Just cast that out there.
Like, how does any paddleboard get sold with or delivered without a leash? Like, that is just a no-no for me. Like, an absolute no-no. Like, the world and their dog talk about the importance of a leash with your paddleboard. And...
Nice. Dog, leash.
Clever.
Very clever, yeah.
Chuck that in there.
Lost on
But no, and so I'm sorry, but and I'm not being funny, but that board in particular, like it's not a cheap board, but just put a leash in the bag. Like, I'm serious. Like, why would you not do that?
Cut that out.
That came with one.
Yeah,
So,
well done them,
Yeah.
and well done anyone that did. And the vast majority, but like, to be honest, and maybe it's in the way I'm ordering them. Maybe, but ultimately just
Not reading the small print.
put a leash in the bag.
Do you know what I don't get? Sorry to cut you off there.
what's your podcast? Don't worry about it, I'm just sitting.
No, you're just there judging people and what they're wearing. Fashion police over there. These, don't know if you can see these little things.
D-rings.
D-rings, lovingly known as the D-ring. The D-ring. I don't understand.
What was the famous D-ring song that Tony Blair used? Things can only get better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well done.
thanks.
Do you know who's in that band?
You?
You don't know
No.
who played keyboards in that band?
No.
Yeah. Tell him.
Did he know?
Who? I don't know. Tony Blair.
No.
Gordon Brown.
No.
Why did they use the song then?
Text you like son.
I'm not going to tell you now.
Well, no, you can't leave the listeners that clearly want to know
Yeah.
this information.
Morgan Freeman. No, Brian Cox.
Who's he?
I thought he was in Blur. Brian Cox, the astronomer, scientist.
Yeah, you're thinking of the other Cox person. That's the guitarist. No.
Always mixing his cocks up, that guy.
Shocking. Can't take him anywhere.
That was easy.
Anyway,
It was good, yeah.
D-rings. Let's be sensible about this, guys. Come on.
Yeah, sorry. Let's focus
D-rings. Why the hell have they got really crap protection on it when they get delivered? You took delivery of a fanatic, starfish, yoga mat,
Oh, yeah.
snowflake.
Yes, snowflake.
And on every single one, they've got these little bits of crap. And you go in.
That was pointless.
That's not hard as well. That's not hard to do. Easy.
Yeah, that was like a little polystyrene
That annoys me.
taped up thing. Yeah, no, that was. Yeah,
That's
that
annoying.
comes on a lot of boards actually.
Yeah.
Not exclusive to them. Comes on a lot of boards, and it does. Yeah, it's consistently with D-rings and a couple of other, like sometimes they wrap it around the nose or something.
What are you talking about here?
So it's literally like a little polystyrene
D-rings.
thing that's
Protection.
yeah,
Protection.
that's folded over there, and it's
Emu protection.
it actually it doesn't really. I don't know what it is actually protecting.
It has to be when it's folded and it's
So
scuffing.
it's preventing abrasion
Yeah.
of the board. Yeah.
I just learned that means protection.
Does it?
What?
That's what he was doing. He was like in the background going, protection, talk about the protection.
I don't like that where your relationship is going.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
Very judgmental.
See on the leash question, though, jokes aside, right?
Yeah.
So when you're buying a board of this caliber, obviously
Yeah.
you're spending money. Is it not that the assumption is that you're gonna want a very particular leash? Like obviously the length of this board requires...
and supply that with it. Like you price it in. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not difficult.
It should be part of it.
It should be part of it. Like no board should go without a leash. That's
Internationally recognised safety thing. You spend thousands of pounds on some of these boards, and it doesn't come with something that's basic safety equipment.
Yeah.
I think it should be a standard.
Yeah, it absolutely should be. Yeah.
And if you want to buy yourself some fancy, whatever form of leash you want,
variant of it, whatever. Yeah.
then lovely, but it should come with one, I think.
Yeah, there should absolutely come with one. And what I need to understand, and we'll dig into, but it is, is it just the manner in which I'm ordering it through whatever suppliers I'm using, but like also I just
No, it should come with
any
one.
board should just have a leash with it. Go, that's it.
Yeah.
So I don't get how I've not ended up with a leash, and it's not just that board. It's happened with, and to be honest, it's been with all the big like race boards that we've brought. That's been consistent. That no leash has been provided.
Is there a particular leash that goes on those boards, like a thickness?
You do. You tend to get a...
Generally on these kind of boards, like on this board, like this ISUP, a lot of them will have a D-ring or some form of carabiner kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you can use anything on it, but the race boards will have like a really narrow connection where you need a smaller drawstring or a connection to it. Like you're saying about all the big race boards and manufacturers, the one that I purchased, they did, the distributor, it came with one. It wasn't one that of the same manufacturer as the board, Infinity, but JLID from Italia, non capisco, I dispiace. That did come with a leash, and I did ask the question, and he went, yes, of course, all our boards.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the distributor or if it's the...
Yeah, and that's my suspicion, is that there's something gone awry in the way that I'm ordering it, and maybe I just need to say, like, I remember to chuck the leash in, boys.
But that's like saying, remember to throw in the fin.
Yeah.
Or the grips for that motorbike you bought.
Yeah. So that's my rant on leashes coming with kit. But other than that, it's a lovely board. And we've got some awesome race boards for people to muck around with this year, which is cool. Whiplash is coming soon.
I can't wait for that. I saw a lovely looking Whiplash earlier.
It's a good board.
Looks really nice.
Yes.
Describe these two boards for the listeners, people who aren't watching.
Which ones?
The new one and the Whiplash, whatever that is.
Well, even you're on about the new Starboard AllStar, not looking as good online and like in different photos. Also the Fanatics, the Blitz. Like we didn't think they looked that nice. We were saying it's like, oh cool, can't wait until they come. When they turned up and we opened them, we were like, whoa, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is some seriously horny.
Proper sup porn.
Oh yeah, like horny as hell. Like seriously, it's like, it's
sniffing it.
Oh.
Filthy.
Yeah, really filthy. Yeah, it is. They're gorgeous. And that's it with the
I think we had the old sexy when wet hashtag for a while, didn't we? When we
that used to be my name.
When we threw the race boards in the water, sexy when wet. That was the Yeah.
With the video and the photo that you put up of the Starboard AllStar.
Yeah. And
it's a 14 by 24.
Correct.
Some people thought it was a kayak. Didn't they?
It's not who would make that mistake.
I think salmon hoodie wearing producer.
So I think for any sort of 14-foot adventure touring or race board, the main features are, sort of a sharpened, pointy nose. The sort of trend over the last few years has definitely been to pack the volume at the front of the board, so you tend to sort of get a thicker set centre, and then different manufacturers, different designers will play with the shape of that, and that's really just designed to sort of carve and be able to sort of literally pierce through a bit of chop in the water and not be distorted, literally just drive through it, and sort of stay up and buoyant rather than diving down and getting.
And yours is a dugout, isn't it? You've got the dugout version.
And so then, so once you step back from that front section, which, as I say, the trend is more for the sort of thicker set volume up front. Back from that, you've got like your deck section, which you can have a flat deck, which is essentially just sort of, as described, it is just a sort of level playing field and flat deck behind that raised front section. Or you can have a dugout, which infers that you sort of, the sides of the board come up a little bit and create a little dugout hollow section in which you stand. And then as you go backwards towards the sort of tail end, you can have quite a variety. There's quite a variety out there in designs and the shape, but essentially they tend to sort of tail off and narrow towards the back, and then you'll get like a sort of flattened back. Some will have a sort of an angled rear end. Some sort of tail off into a sort of mini fin, like arrow sort of shape.
Are you fanatics flat decks?
So the Blitz is a flat deck, and the Strike is a dugout.
Is it?
Yeah. So you've got the Infinity Blackfish, which you've got the flat deck version. They do two versions of that.
It's a bit,
The Starboard AllStar we saw took delivery of this week is dugout, and it literally is just, when we say the words dugout, it literally is just, imagine like a small wall either side of where you plant your feet, just comes up, and it's literally like a dugout hollow. The idea is that essentially where your feet are and where you're standing is at water level, essentially. We're getting you as close to water level as possible.
Did you see the Danny Cheng video he posted?
No,
on his foreboard. It's him and he's like stood on one rail, so like on the inside, so the board is more or less up on its side.
Right.
And then he's balancing.
I've seen a few people do that. I haven't seen Danny Cheng do it.
Yeah,
I've seen a few people do that test where you try and flip the board up onto its side.
Yeah.
And sort of paddle, and then almost flip it over. I've seen a few variants of that.
It's really cool.
It's ridiculously tough to do. We'll play around with that, give it a go. Actually, there's some really cool, like, so the materials game's changing a little bit. So there's this what's it called? X Bionic. There's a guy called Peter MLH or something. That's his like Insta handle, but he seems to be involved with the design or something of Bruno Hazulo, there's the twins, Bruno and what's Bruno's brother called? That's going to annoy me. But yeah, basically these two, the Hazulo twins or brothers, are awesome paddlers. Bruno has this, I think it's X Bionic.
Yes.
Is the name of the brand of the
black
board that he's
the
doing.
Orange.
Yeah, and it's just this like full carbon, hollowed out, super sleek, 14-foot long, just machine. And yeah, so it's interesting seeing like guys like that play with, probably, just designers and people interested in use of different materials and stuff. And I think like the next couple of years is going to be quite interesting for that, because it's definitely at that stage where it's like economically it's starting to become interesting enough, and like the reach of the sport is enough that people are starting to throw a bit more money in that investment end. It's almost like that sort of leaning into the sort of F1 model where you start to get the brands that, everyone wants to be on that peak, top tier race scene. Who's riding what board? Who's your two riders for the year? All of that sort of model.
Well, as you're talking about materials and that kind of thing.
Oh, have you got? Is it in there?
It's in there.
Take it out. Right. This is, if you are.
I didn't want to do this as well, but.
If you are into paddleboarding, if you have realised that at some point in your life you will have to upgrade your paddle. It's just at some point in that. We've been playing around with a series of the Black Project paddles recently. And this was a new paddle they released this year, the Black Project Hydro Flow X.
Oh, sorry, it's floating away. It's floating away.
Wow.
But boom.
And it is a thing of beauty. I mean, like, I think, you know, anyone you hand that to picks it up and goes, pass it over.
Oh, that weighs nothing.
I love that.
It's just it is a thing of beauty, and there's just so many elements to it that make it super cool. It's just a great paddle. Like
amazing. It really is amazing.
It is amazing. I remember, like, talk about when you handed over to Clark the other week on the water, and he was just like.
Oh yeah, it was I was out and bumped into a couple of guys. Clark was out there. I was on the training course that we were speaking about last week. And I passed him this paddle to have a little go at after disinfecting it and cleaning it and everything. And it was just properly, like, he saw the difference in it, and it was
It's fully carbon fibre.
Fully carbon.
So there's gonna be little to no flex in it.
Little to no
flex.
Quite rigid.
Actually, no. It's designed to allow a good chunk of flex. Like, so you really drive your paddle through, and it absorbs that, and the shaft will bend to absorb that. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, there's a limit.
Oh, in the shaft of it. The blade should be quite rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
the blade's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I've said before, my wrists are buggered, and that is so much easier. I don't fatigue as much with my wrists or anything. That is amazing. Like, seriously. And I've got a really good paddle.
You've got a great paddle.
It's a great paddle, and I love it.
Yeah.
You know, but then you go onto that, and it's a step up.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I love it. Fair play to him. And even the grip, everything about that paddle is bloody awesome.
It is the finer details like the grip and
just the detail, the comfort of it. Yeah. Like, a lot of people will use various different bits of jargon and stuff explaining about, you know, like the hydroforce of this, that, and, you know, whatever, all the scientific. I don't know. I haven't fully tested it in these conditions.
I've not read the scientific papers that prove that the dihedral design going into the water makes it sharper, increases your cadence, and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That all sounds great, but what I can tell you is that the feel of that is an absolute step change from any of the other paddles we've got, and we've got some awesome paddles. Quiver
big time.
paddles.
That's I love that. Like, that's proper. Like, Diane, whoever did that, can't remember the guy's name. Chris, well done, Chris. Diane, awesome.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I think we're running out of time, and to be honest, that was a very random meander around SUP world.
Yeah.
What did we initially start talking about? The subculture and how many
boards.
Oh yeah, how many boards?
We were going to talk about that, but then there was a certain person who's just really negative with his energy, and he steered us into a direction that we didn't quite see ourselves going. But that's quite like paddleboarding. Sometimes you have to take the rough with the smooth, and you just have to navigate that course.
And just to clarify on the whole original question of how many boards should you have?
74.
The answer is the same as the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right?
Yes. Well done. Yeah. And on that bombshell,
see you next week.